The hill took you in, cold breath, cold stone. You laid your name down in the dark, alone. Something old as winter pressed into your hand, the kind of cold that holds you until you understand. Then the frost let go, a thin gold light, a spark in the dark behind your sight. A word you had buried rose through your chest, broke open your throat, and you spoke it at last. So carry it home, carry it home. The turning of the wheel has carved you from bone. You are the fire, you are the stone. The long road through you is calling you home. The cold and the flame are under your ribs. The path knows your name, and you belong to it. Carry it home, carry it home. Cold water at your knees, sky gone black, a mark upon your brow, and no way back. Fear became fire and ran to your hands. Your 2 feet held you on the shaking sand. Then the turning went still, you stood in the eye. The one who was waiting had your own eyes. Stone in your body, word in your throat, warmth in your chest, fire. Carry it home, carry it home. The turning of the wheel has carved you from bone. You are the fire, you are the fire, you are the stone, you are the stone. The long road through you is calling you home. The cold and the flame are under your ribs. The path knows your name, and you belong to it. Carry it home, carry it home, carry it home. You are home. You are home. You are home. You are the fire, you are the stone. The hill took you in, cold breath, cold stone. You laid your name down in the dark, alone. Something old as winter pressed into your hand, the kind of cold that holds you until you understand. frost let go, a thin gold light, a spark in the dark behind your sight. A word you had buried rose through your chest, broke open your throat and you spoke it at last. So carry it home, carry it home. The turning of the wheel has carved you from bone. You are the fire, you are the stone. The long road through you is calling you home. The cold and the flame are under your ribs. The path knows your name and you belong to it. Carry it home, carry it home. Cold water at your knees, sky gone black, a mark upon your brow and no way back. Fear became fire and ran to your hands. Your 2 feet held you on the shaking sand. Then the turning went still, you stood in the eye. The one who was waiting had your own eyes. Stone in your body, word in your throat, warmth in your chest, fire in your palms. All of it settled deep into bone. The wheel turned within you and called you home. So carry it home, carry it home, carry it home. The turning of the wheel has carved you from bone. You are the fire, you are the fire, you are the stone, you are the stone. The long road through you is calling you home. The cold and the flame are under your ribs. The path knows your name and you belong to it. Carry it home, carry it home, carry it home. You are home. You are home. You are home. You are the fire, you are the stone.
Good morning, everybody. Hello. Good to see you guys here. It is Saturday, isn't it? It is, I think. Panama. Welcome, Siska. Siska, are you the one I follow on Substack? I love your post if you are the one. I gotta turn some things down here, making sure everybody can hear me. I am on YouTube as well today, so those of you who are on YouTube, hello. And Insight Timer, and yes, it's and it is beautiful here today. I have screens everywhere, just so you know. If you see me looking, it's because today is going to be an interesting day, and I'll tell you why here in just a moment. But after our Insight Timer today, or after our live event, we're going to go to, all of us could go, but my wife and I are going to our first Pride here in Maine, so I'm very excited about that. It'll be a beautiful day for that. We're taking our dogs, which will be interesting. We have a large Weimaraner and a coonhound, and Gracie, the Weinreimer, has bandages right now because she's done something to her foot. So we have bought her rainbow gauze to put around her leg. That'll be fun. Anyway, we're here today, and we are going to do something a little different today. Different for me, maybe not for you. I'm going to kind of walk you through the teaching of the medicine wheel in the cosmic realm of Celtic cosmology, and specifically the goddesses, the Cailleach, and things like that. We're going to walk and stand at the edge of the wheel together. But before we walk it, I want you to kind of get a feel for how the rest of today is going to run. I am, as most of you who have been following me and have come to many of my lives, what I traditionally do is I do a little teaching, a little talk, whatever, and then I go in, I share one of the meditations that I've been working on or have just released and newly released. And so I have everything kind of already done and packaged, and I just hit play on the recorder. And that works because I am a sound alchemist, and so a lot of the things that I do is I layer different sounds to create an immersive experience for people. And to do a journey like that takes quite a bit of time and effort. So, for example, a 60-minute meditation for me will take about 2 weeks to produce, and that's not a full 2 weeks, obviously, but hours each day. And so, last time I was here on live, I need to turn something down. I'm like hearing myself way too much. Last time I was here on the live, I had, as always, some great sound difficulties, and things weren't working. And so we ended up doing a live meditation. I just walked you through the journey, just impromptu. And it was fun. I love doing that. It's different for me because I don't have all of my bells and whistles, and so really it's just the vocal that gets to take you somewhere. And so today what I decided to do is I'm going to attempt, now it won't be one of my polished pieces, but I'm going to attempt to do kind of an impromptu sort of thing with a journey that I have been working on for a while. It's been in production just at the script stage. So I only have really the script written, and even that's not even completely done if I'm really being honest. But so what I thought I'd do is I loaded up a lot of different sounds. Now I know this won't be the end product, but today I'm going to kind of produce live all the sounds and things like that. Now it's not going to be a fully polished Dakota Earth Cloud Walker production, but it'll be fun. I think I'm kind of excited about it because it may be the worst thing ever. It totally could be, but I'm going to run with it. And so I need for you guys to kind of bear with me on this because this is a little kind of out of my comfort zone in some ways because I'm meticulously a perfectionist and I like to have things, I'll spend 3 hours on a 2-minute section of my journey. So anyway, it'll be fun. I just need to let go of the perfectionism. So having said that, what I usually do when I'm doing these lives is while the meditation is playing, I'm on chat and I'm talking to you guys and doing all that good stuff. I'm not going to be able to do that today because I'm working. I'm going to be working hard. So and those of you who are in YouTube, I'm going to try my best. I have both YouTube and Insight Time right over here, and I will try to pay attention to comments, but don't hold me to it if I don't answer you. What would be helpful, though, is if during the journey you have something that you're like, oh, I wish you would add blah, blah, blah just throw it in there. If I see it, I'll see if I can work it into the production. So anyway, I'm Dakota Earth Cloud Walker. For anybody who is new here, thank you for joining me today and taking a chunk out of your Saturday to spend with somebody you don't even know. I hope that you are walking away from this feeling like you have gained something. For those of you who have been following me, thank you for coming back, and it's always great to see that. And April, so your question, my background is AI. So here's what I've done, actually. I'm so excited about this. The room is an AI picture. The outside is actually my backyard. And for my birthday, which is in July, I decided to buy myself a really nice camera that does live feed 24/7, and it does all these things. And I'm going to put it, this is where you guys see right now is a space I'm kind of creating and carving out in my yard that's going to be a dedication garden for my mom. And so I've been starting to put things there. And so I put my camera out there yesterday to film like 45 minutes of just my yard, which is what you guys are looking at now. And I was looking back through the footage, and around 17, actually, let me see if I can start it back. Okay, I'll see if you guys can see it. It'll come up soon. So as I was looking at the footage, there was a little fox. And I've been feeding this fox off and on throughout the winter. This fox kind of runs through my woods. He's very skittish. And he'll stop and he'll look around, and then he'll go back the same way that he came from. He screams. He runs through the woods screaming. Anyway, I think it's a she. She is the cutest little thing. And I am just in love with her. And did you guys see her? She should have already came. She shows up in the window. There she is, right there. She shows up in that window. She is adorable, and I just was so excited to see that on film because she's really hard to actually catch on my cameras. I catch her at nighttime, but that's like the infrared camera, so it's not as cool. But yeah, so my yard, I have squirrels and crows and deer and all kinds of stuff that come down to my mom's garden. And so anyway, I'm excited about that. Long answer to your question, April, but so the room itself, though, is AI, and then I do all the little things. Like those pictures that are on the wall are pictures that I've done, and I just kind of bring it to life. So anyway, I'm a total geek, a spiritual total geek. Anyway, for those of you who are new to me, I am a sound alchemist. I'm a Celtic medicine woman, and I teach shamanic studies and Celtic cosmology, and specifically around the medicine wheel. And I've been doing this work forever, so long that now I'm starting to say that I don't want to say how long I've done it because it kind of gives away my age. And you know, I'm getting really sensitive to my birthday coming up next month, and somebody, well, it was my brother, I think, who sent me a text and said, you know, you're blank years old. Okay, I'm 57 right now. He says, well, you're 58 now, and I had to text him right away and say, not yet. I got a month on it yet, so don't push me there yet. Anyway, I love what I do. I love the Bob. I wish I was 45 again. I love what I do. I love being around the spiritual world every single day. I mean, my office extends into the woods and the forest and the beaches and the meadows and all places that are nature. And I just am very grateful that I have been able to live this life like this, and to be really conscious of the things that I do and the things that I add to my life, and whether that's work or personal. And so I'm glad that I can share it here. I'm glad that I have the ability to do what I do in this world and in this economy and everything else. And the people that I work with are just amazing, and I am really grateful for the tribe that I have, and that includes the tribe here on Insight Timer and also on YouTube. And just a fair note, YouTube, I've kind of neglected my YouTube channel for about 4 years, and I have decided recently to just kind of get it back into production, and because I left all social media except for Substack, and so I'm kind of going back to those places that support maybe a different vision than some of the other social media platforms. So you won't find me on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or Twitter or whatever that's named now, but you will find me on Substack, here on Insight Timer, and YouTube. Those are my three places. Bob. So, as I said, the wheel, that what I want you to understand today about the wheel that I'm going to talk about is that it belongs to the Cailleach. And if you don't know Cailleach, and if you don't know cosmic, or I keep saying cosmic today, I think there's some kind of ice cream called cosmic. I think I need to get some cosmic ice cream. Anyway, Celtic cosmology, that's what I'm talking about. My work in the recent years has been shifting more towards, let me just give you kind of a brief synapse of my journey with the medicine wheel. And before I do that, I'm going to answer Patri, because you guys all know about me and Oreos. I gave up Oreos, you guys. No more, never, ever again. Somebody said, do you know that you can take a torch to an Oreo and it won't change? And I'm like, whatever, I don't believe that. And I was in Colorado. I had access to a torch and an Oreo at the same time. And I put the Oreo on the stone and I torched it, and it didn't change form, it didn't burn, it didn't melt. And I threw every Oreo out that I had. I will not eat those again. Somebody on here told me they're not good for me. I know they're not good for me, but and Bob, you say Cailleach. Am I saying it right? I always call it Cailleach. Anyway, my journey from the medicine wheel is when I first started my path. I left organized religion and became an atheist for about 6 months, and then that didn't work because I knew that there was something bigger out there, and there was something that connected all of us. And so I began to look towards things that kind of felt right, ended up at a powwow, and then followed that journey of Native American lineage for a long time, worked very closely with the Hopi, the Lakota, and some of the Cherokee. And so the medicine wheel is a construct that you will find actually in a lot of indigenous cultures throughout the world, not just in Native American. And there might be different terms for it: Celtic Wheel, Wheel of the Year, Sacred Wheel, Medicine Wheel, things like that. So in about, I started teaching the Medicine Wheel training about 15, 20 years ago. And about maybe 7 years ago, there was this big thing, and it's still a thing, where people would see me and they would start to question whether I was culturally appropriating, because I'm a white girl from Ohio, and obviously not Native, and yet I was teaching the medicine wheel in the context of, loosely, the energies of Native America. And so I understand that sensitivity, and at the same time I was doing my own research of my family lineage, and I am 150% Celtic. I'm Irish, Scottish, Welsh. Those are the only three makeups in my blood, and very strongly so. Like my great-grandfather, one of my great-grandfathers founded the Dakota in Scotland. That was the tribe that actually founded Scotland. So that was my great-grandfather. So I come from a lineage of very deeply rooted Celtic druids and so on and so forth. And so the wheel, in the context that I teach it now, is really kind of blending in that Celtic cosmology with a modern day kind of feel to it. But the wheel, in many senses, belongs to the Cailleach. She's the old woman who made the mountains, who shapes the land and turns the year toward winter. And we'll meet her in a little while. But for now, I want you to just hold her name, because the whole of this work carries it. The Wheel of the Cailleach. That's what I call it anyway in my program that I work with. And the wheel is old. It's older than the word I borrowed to name it. Medicine wheel comes from the indigenous peoples of this land, and I hold that with respect, and I say it as plainly as it is. But the shape underneath, 4 directions and a very still center, it belongs to many people, the old Celts among them. And they had their own 4-fold map of the world, and we'll get to that here in just a little bit as well. But I want you to hear something, because I think that in our world, people like to kind of say what you can and can't have. You can't have access to this. You can't say that. That's not your culture. That's, it goes back to that whole cultural appropriation piece of it. This wheel is yours, all of yours. Some of you are, and I'm saying this specifically today because the Wheel of the Cailleach and the journey I'm going to take you through is meeting the 4 goddesses of each direction. Now, these are me placing these goddesses in these directions. It's not written in any book that you're going to see. And what I teach is, right now, divine feminine leadership through the lens of Celtic cosmology and the medicine wheel. But some of you are men here, and you're listening to a teaching full of goddesses and wondering if there's a seat in it for you. And I keep running up against this when I do these live events, because in the back of my head I hear this little voice saying, Dakota, don't forget that there are men in this group. And what I don't want to have happen, because right now we're in a very pivotal moment in history. And it's very easy to separate ourselves from each other and say, this is good and this is bad. This person's right, this person's not. And I see that happening. And especially with this push towards moving toward a more divine, feminine construct that we all work from. And actually, in this next arc that I'm teaching in the Wheel of the Cailleach is 100% about women in leadership from the context of the Celtic medicine wheel as I teach it. I call it the Mishnach medicine wheel. But for the men, there is a seat in all of this for you. The oldest stories punished men who led from the soul as hard as they punished anyone. The poets, the artists, the ones who felt too much and refused to trade it for a place at the table. And the wheel asks only one question of every soul that steps into it. Are you whole? What body you wear has nothing to do with the answer. Every person alive carries all 4 directions inside them, and we're going to find them in you later today. I also want to say, because everybody always says this who does know information about the medicine wheel, the medicine wheel is actually made up of 7 directions. I talk about the 4 because that's what we live in this everyday world that we're whirling around in, and the center is also a part of that. But you also have Father Sky and Mother Earth, and those are the 2 kind of anchor points that hold the container for us to be able to flunder around and be human. And in that humanness, we make a lot of mistakes. And Father Sky and Mother Earth kind of hold that so that we can evolve through that and still be human and still be spirit at the same time. So here's the shape. The 4 directions in the center, 5 places in all. East is air, and that's the country of your mind, your mental body, your thoughts, your plans, the vision you carry, the words you find for it. And East is where you dream a thing and you give it a name. the wind that lifts that seed up and plants it somewhere. And then we move to the south, and that's water element, and that's the country of feeling, emotion, the emotional body, what you love and what you make, how you move toward other people and let them move toward you. South is the gut yes and the gut no, the knowing that lands in the body before the mind can argue. In the south, we also have like the playfulness and the imagination, the creativity, the vibrancy of life. It's where we nurture the seed that we plant in the east. West is fire, and that's the country of the body, and also this world that we live in. So when I look out my window here and I see all these trees or the backyard, that is West energy, the physical body that I am in and you are in, and the body of the earth that we walk. And it's where the thing that we took from the east and we nurtured it in the south. Now in the west, it takes form that we can touch. This is the harvest, the work of your hands. What you build and what you refuse to build happens here in the west. So we see the manifestations of everything that we have done and dreamed and put sacred action towards. So when you get to the west, you have two options: keep or discard. And because when we look at the harvest, you look at what's working and what's not. And sometimes we create very intentionally, and sometimes we create from an unconscious place. And those unconscious things that we create often are the things that inhibit the true soul from being able to walk its sacred purpose here on this earth. So we clean out in the west before we go to the north. And the north is the earth element. We need the earth in the north because that's what anchors us and provides us a path home when we are journeying and working with our spiritual guides, because it is the spiritual body. It's also that inward turn where the question changes. Underneath what should I do lives an older question: who am I? Under all of it, who am I? So north is ancestors and the older than you energies. You go quiet and you wait. So thinking harder won't take you in. It's that silence and that inward turn and that willingness actually to transcend what you know and be open to what's possible, the potential. And then we have the center, which is ether, and that's oneness. It's the place that you can touch all four directions at once. You don't live there. It's the place that we visit. It's the way an astronaut sees the whole earth at once and then comes home changed from that view and carries it in their body forever. So the center is the place we go to remember why we're here. And that big why includes you and me and the earth and the trees and the animals and our connection to all of that simultaneously, because at the end of the day, it's that connection that feeds I call it the oversoul, and we all tap into the oversoul for energy and information. If we're feeding fear and worry and anger into that oversoul, it becomes something that's like leaking out of the container and we're all drinking it. And I think we can all relate to that right now in the world, that it feels very overwhelming because the energy of everybody there's a lot of fear and there's a lot of anger and there's a lot of everything. And so the center gives us that return back to, let's feed the oversoul with what really is important, which is the energy that connects all of us, which ultimately is love and oneness. And that sounds very, what's the word I'm looking for? Fairy tale-ish, but in essence, it's in shamanic work, there is no judgment of good or bad. It just is. It is both the anger and the fear and all of that, and the love and the joy and all of that. Both are necessary. But when you have an abundance of one, then the other one kind of gets drowned out. So the center gives us that respite to go in and say, okay, I'm going to breathe and remember that my neighbor is not my enemy, that I'm not my own enemy, and that there is something way bigger here than just, what am I going to eat tonight, and how do I pay these bills, and etc. So east to west there's two lines that run through the wheel, and east to west is one. Think it, then build it. Vision into form. The world knows this line very, very well. It's loud. It's when it gets things made, because east with sacred action and then seeing the harvest, really it's a very extroverted type of direction. North to south is the other. You listen for it, then you feel it. The soul speaks in the north, the body receives it in the south. This line runs a lot slower, and it's been starved a long, long time in all of us. And most of what aches in the world right now is the hunger of that starved line. And if you are somebody who works in a very structured type job, and you're walking this very spiritual path, you probably feel this conflict because they don't mesh well together. Most don't, anyway. And so there's this constant struggle of blending and kind of bringing in all those elements that feed somebody's soul, and yet doesn't fit in everyday life oftentimes. So you have people who are compartmentalizing their spiritual life, their work life, their relationships, their play, and all of these kind of things become boxed up and put over here, and we only visit it every now and then. I've been fortunate enough, because of my the work that I do and have chosen to do, is that my world blends. So my work, I am, always tapped in spiritually, and I'm always kind of working with my guides, and I'm listening to nature and things like that. And then I have the very real work of like mowing the lawn and things like that. But when I mow the lawn, I'm also still listening to that inner dialogue that's happening. I'm paying attention to what's happening in my environment around me. So ultimately what we want to get to is having the ability to bring all four of these directions together so that the energy is getting dispersed equally through all of these different directions. Christina, are these one-directional east to west and north to south, or bi-directional? That's a very expanded question. And I will briefly just say this. There's energy flies through your wheel like a pinball machine. Bing, 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 bing. Every moment that you experience something, there's energy that's moving through your wheel, kind of like a switchboard. Like you read a bad review about you on Yelp or something. Let's say you have a business and you read a bad review. So reading it, east direction, the emotion, south direction, the overcoming of it, and realizing that person that review doesn't define you, that's north. And then you go to the west, it's like, okay, how does that affect my business? And then back over to the east, and okay, now I know that if I don't address that comment that's here in this world, in this earthly domain, I need to go over to the east and figure out how to communicate that appropriately. So energy is always flying around your wheel in every moment. And say you have 5 events that happen at once, that's like this crisscross of energy lines that are just going everywhere. That's when you realize that, for me now, because I've been working with the wheel for so long, and a lot of my students who have been with me I have some students who have been walking the wheel with me for 9-10 years, is that you start to see it happening in real time. It's no longer a reflective moment like, oh, okay, that's what was going on. Now it becomes, in the moment, I'm experiencing this and I can see what the energy is doing, and I have a choice. Let the energy ride out because maybe it's teaching me something. Or I can stop it and say, you know what, I'm not going to respond this way because of blah, 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 blah. I've done this work. So it's hard to answer one directional or bi-directional because of that. However, I will say that like east to west is the masculine extroverted line. North to south is the introverted feminine line. Those two are definitive. And that's kind of the balance that we all seek in the world. And that's why when I talk about this kind of work, especially in the context of right now and today, that even though I'm using masculine, feminine terminology, it has absolutely nothing to do with gender. Nothing to do with gender. And I want to be very clear about that, because I think that that can really make some people feel left out, men especially, if they're feeling like, okay, all these women hate men now. No, we don't hate men. We hate the patriarchy and what it's doing to the world, where the world is kind of collapsing because we've been riding this east-west vein for so long that we have forgotten the importance of that north-south. And so this is the way that we kind of come back to that, is where all of us collectively begin to balance out the energy of our own personal medicine wheel and our own personal lives within the context. And the medicine wheel is a framework. So you can apply it to any part of your life. It doesn't matter what religion or spiritual path that you walk. The medicine wheel is just a blueprint. It gives you a way of understanding how energy is playing in your life. And when we begin to kind of see it and conceptualize it and understand it, which is an east energy, then we can go down into the south and decide, okay, how am I going to bring this and build it into my relationships and strengthen my relationships, both to myself and to others in the world? And how do I feel about this? How do I feel about all of these things that are happening around me and to me and because of me? And then we can see in the West how our path has actually manifested itself by the virtue of what we've created in the world around us. And then we go into the North and we ask that big question again and again and again. We don't ask it just once, because we're always shifting, we're always evolving. And so that question up in the North, who am I, is really about who am I in this moment. And the old Celts, they carried their own version of this fourfold world within them. The stories tell of the I can never say this, I'm going to butcher. I'm so bad at Gaelic. You would think that with as much Gaelic I have in my blood, I'd be able to fluently pronounce it. But the stories of the Tuatha De Danann, the people of the goddess Danu, who came to Ireland out of 4 cities in the north of the world. And from each city, they brought a treasure. So from Falias, the Leafoil, the stone of destiny that cried out under the rightful ruler, sovereignty was held in stone. And then from Mirios, the cauldron of the Dagda, that no company ever left unsatisfied. That was the vessel of plenty and feeling. And then from Fendeus, the sword of light, and then from Gorias, the spear of victory. Stone, cauldron, sword, and spear. A treasure for each quarter of the world. And the Celts knew the 4 directions long before anyone ever laid them out into the wheel. So keep that first treasure close, the sovereignty stone, because the woman that we're about to meet is the one who it answers to, which is the Cailleach. Come to the mountain now with me. I want you to imagine this beautiful mountain. It's cold. The light has gone thin and blue, the way that, kind of like the way that it does when the year turns toward that dark. So think around Samhain, October, November time. And there's an old woman ahead of you on the ridge, bent over a creel of stones, an apron of gray rocks at her waist. And she reaches in and she lets the boulders fall wherever she walks. And each one lands, it becomes a hill. And she's making the country under your feet, stone by stone. And she's in no hurry. She washes her great plaid in the gulf where the tides crash, and when she lays it white across the hills, that's the first snow. And then she strikes the ground with her staff, and the grass stops growing. And the deer are her cattle, the wolves are her dogs, and winter walks in behind her like a thing she owns. This is the Cailleach, the hag of Beara. In the south of Ireland, the Cailleach Beara, the blue-faced shaper of the Scottish mountains. They knew her across Ireland and Scotland and the Isle of Man by 100 names, and the land still wears all of them. I don't know how many of you are here from Scotland or Ireland, or the Isle of Man even, but that landscape, if you've never seen it, is spectacularly stunning. You can't adequately describe it in human language, I don't think anyway. When I go to Scotland or Ireland, I am just in awe the entire time. And you can stand on her today. There's a hill in the Irish Midlands that the old people called Slieve na Cailleach, the Hill of the Hag. And on top sit stone cairns, 5,000 years old, older than the pyramids. And on the morning of the equinox, the rising sun reaches down that passage of one of them and lights the carvings on the stone inside. And people raised that for her, or for what she is, before history was writing anything down. She's the land itself, grown old and a little ruthless. In the oldest understanding, a ruler only held his throne if she granted it. He had to wed the goddess of the land and keep her well. Rule her badly, and she'd turn from a young queen back into the hag and take the whole country down with her. And there's many stories about that. Sovereignty was hers to give, and that's the stone that cried out under the true king. That's the Cailleach. She holds that dark half of the year, and then at winter's end she gathers her last firewood on the first morning of February. If she means winter to run long, she makes that day bright and clear so she can gather plenty. If the day comes wet and gray, it means that she's sleeping in. Her winter is nearly spent, and the young goddess of spring is already on her way, but not quite. Sounds a little bit like Groundhog Day that we celebrate here in America, but Groundhog Day is actually, it's not Celtic, it's not from that story, but it's kind of like a cousin to it. It comes from a different, it was more Christianized to create that. And actually it was supposed to be a hedgehog, but where it was, and I can't remember exactly where that originated, there were no hedgehogs there, so they changed it to a groundhog. So that's a whole other story. That's the cousin. But that young goddess in the that moves from winter to spring is Brigid. I want you to hold that also. The hag and the bright girl are two faces of one turning year, and we'll meet that bright one at the next gate. On the wheel, the Cailleach keeps the north, which is the earth element, the country of the soul, the inward turn into the dark where the old ones wait. She's the keeper of the whole entire wheel. And she's the first one that you're going to meet when we do this meditation, because everything real, I want you to hear this, because everything that is real begins in the north. You go in, you go quiet, and you let her show what's underneath. So now we have her, and we kind of have that laid out. Now the wheel, she opens 4 gates, 4 keepers, and we'll walk them the way that you'll walk in the meditation. We're going to walk sunwise, starting where she stands. So we'll stand in the north. We've stood there already. This is the gate of the soul's question. And when you walk in, you're not going to bring her your plans. You'll bring her your silence and your willingness to not know for a while. And she gives you back the one thing underneath all of your doing, who you are when the roles fall away. The ancestors also lean very close here, so you need to listen for your ancestors, your spirit guide, your power animals. But more importantly, it's about listening to that inner part of yourself that already does know. And maybe has had so much noise going on here in the external world that we have stopped listening or we haven't heard it clearly. Then if you turn sunwise to the east, where the air starts to warm up, there's a forge somewhere close. You can hear that hammer, and there's I should have put a soundtrack in here for a hammer. Next time. When I finally do produce this meditation, it'll be much different than what you experienced today. And there's a flame that doesn't go out. So you walk toward it, and you'll find a woman at the fire. She's a poet and she's a smith all at the same time. The sparks come off her anvil, and one of them flies straight into your skull and catches. And the old Irish had a name for that catch, imbos, the fire in the head. The moment that inspiration lands, when a poem or a knowing arrives already lit, before you've even reasoned a step of it. The poets sought it in the dark with stones on their bellies, and they woke with the work already kind of burning. This is Brigid, and her name, you can either say it Brigid, which most people do, and that's why I pronounce it that way, but the actual pronunciation is Breed or Brid, the bright one, goddess of poetry, of the forge, of the healing wells, of the bright fire of making. And her feast is the 1st of February, Imbolc, the very day that the Cailleach's winter starts to break. When the old goddess tires, the bright one rises. And she was loved so long and so well that her fire never went out. Her name carried straight into the age of the saints, and at Kildare they kept a flame burning for St. Brigid that 19 women tended in turn. No man was allowed past the hedge, and it burned for centuries. Folk relit it in our own time even, and her fire really is stubborn that way. She sticks around. So east is Brigid's gate, air and the mind and the bright spark, a thing thrown before you build it. And when you stand there in the walk, she'll hand you a clear flame and a clean word that you're carrying, the vision named. And then we walk on sunwise into the south. The ground softens. You can smell the water, the warm grass. It's the shortest night of the year here, and we're actually coming up on it here pretty soon. And the hills are lit with fires. People are carrying torches in a ring around a green hill, the way that they did within living memory on a hill in Limerick called Knockine, Aine's Hill. And they carry the flame through the fields and the herds for luck and for the land to stay sweet. The last known procession around the hill of Áine was in 1879. That was the last recorded procession, which means that those who did that procession have grandchildren living today, great-grandchildren living today. And she's there in the half dark, the woman that they're walking for, Áine, the sun on the lake, goddess of summer, of love, queen of this green place, and in some of the old stories, a queen of the fairy, too, a woman who chose her own lovers and answered to no one for it. She was actually one of the, remember when I said that the kings have to marry the goddess of the land? And if they do harm to who they've married, there is retribution. Well, Áine was one of the, in recorded history, and there is written recorded history of this. She was to marry, I can't remember what king's name it was. Anyway, he tried to rape her. He did rape her. He killed her father, raped her on that hill, and she bit off his ear. And the biting off of the ear reduced him to never being king of the land again, because he was maimed, and you can only be whole if you were to be king. And because she took his ear, he was no longer whole. And so that's a reflection of how in ancient history the stories are often symbolic, and then sometimes they're very real. But the language is still kind of very similar. He lost his kingship because of his actions, and his actions were in retribution to the feminine, the goddess of the land. And the earth is feminine. And so when you do harm to the earth, you get harmed back. And that's the way it was in the old days. Now we move to this. The south is, let me stop here, go back. South is feeling. It's the water element. Remember, it's the body's yes and the body's no. It's the love that moves between people and the love that you go starved of when you keep it from yourself. Áine knows the worth of a body and the worth of wanting. She'll lay her hand flat on your chest and let you feel what you actually want under that long habit of going without, the feeling, knowing, given back. Some of you have kept it locked for a long time, and she has all night to work on that with you. Let me just make sure I'm not missing any. If I've missed any of your questions, please, Margaret, what's in my chair? What's in your yard by my chair? Oh, that's my owl. That's my owl statue. And bird feeders. And yeah, lots of fun stuff. Okay, now west, we go to the Morrígan. Sunwise again, into where the air, it starts to become a little bit more electric, like the pressure before a storm. And there's a ford ahead, a shallow river crossing, and a figure crouched at the water, washing something red from the cloth. And she looks up, and crows scatter off the field behind a black sheet. And she's beautiful and terrible all at the same time. And you understand, standing there, that she can see how things end. This is the Morrígan, the great queen, the phantom queen. And she comes as a crow over the battlefield, as a woman, as an eel, as a gray wolf, as a red-eared heifer, shape after shape. She knows fate. She speaks prophecy. And in the great war of the old gods, she turned the tide with a few words. And when it was done, she stood and foretold the long ages still to come. So west is fire. The body, the made world that we see, it's what we can see with our eyes, our visible eyes. The harvest, the moment a thing becomes real and there's no taking it back. That's her country, because nothing gets truly made without the willingness to let something else die. You can't build the new house and keep the old one. You can't stay the true thing and keep everyone comfortable. So the Morrígan is the fierce edge of your own sovereignty, the part of you that will burn what needs burning. And when you meet her in today's meditation, she won't comfort you. She'll ask you what you're finally willing to make real and what you'll have to lay down in order to do it. And then she'll give you, hopefully, the nerve to do it. And then we come to the center, and the four gates we walk, the center is the gift in your hands. You'll get 4 gifts in this. Did I do 4 gifts in this meditation? Yes, I did. Yes. You'll get 4 gifts in your hands. The clear, let me go through this, southeast, Morrígan. Yes. You're going to get a clear word from the east, a feeling, knowing from the south, the nerve from the west, and then underneath all of it, the soul's own question answered in the north from the Cailleach. The center is where you're going to stand in all 4 at one time. Ether, oneness. The old Celts might have called it the still point, the 4 cities turn around, the place the treasures came home to. There's a word in Celtic cosmology called Áine. It could be that, if you're familiar with that word. You don't meet a goddess there, but you're going to meet yourself, the one who already holds all of it, already whole, already sovereign. The higher self that's been waiting in the middle of the wheel the whole time you walk the edge. And the Cailleach brought you in. Brigid lights you up. Áine softens you. And the Morrígan gives you that steel edge. And in the center, you get to finally see who all of that is for. So that's the wheel that we're about to step into. And the Cailleach's wheel goes all the way around the year, a goddess waiting at each gate with her story, and the way that we work into our everyday life, the medicine wheel, and still have a pulse on ancient history and cosmology and mythic tales and fables and stories, because storytelling was the way that most people learned back in the old ways, is through story and through metaphor and symbology. That's very much South energy. It's the creativity and the imagination being brought out into the everyday life and world, so that we can marry the East-West and the North-South. So that's what we're going to walk today. Now I'm going to get myself set up here. I need to get you ready. In a moment we'll go in together and down into the head and into the body and into the dark of the north, where Cailleach is waiting for you with that gear burning behind, or turning behind her. So I want you right now, just find a position that you can hold for a while. Let your spine be long and your belly soft. Let your eyes close. Now what I'm going to do when I actually do the meditation, it'll be distracting if you're watching me, because I'm going to be pulling up different songs and sounds and working with the mixer and yada, yada, yada. So I am going to let you look at my backyard here in a moment. And just for transparency also, the QR code that's in my video, that's if you want to do a donation for today's live. You're welcome to do so. It bypasses Insight Timer, predominantly Apple, because Apple takes so much from anything that you give through iPhone, Apple. And Insight Timer doesn't take anything from our donations. And I don't expect a donation. I do this out of the goodness of my heart for you. And actually, this is a good test run for me today to do this live here. So I appreciate that. And I appreciate ahead of time any hiccups that might happen. Okay, let me get... I am going to pull up my... Now this script I've actually been working on for... This has been a meditation on the back burner for about, 4 months. And I keep shifting things in the script. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my notebook out. It's always different when you are running through it in a live version like this. You hear things differently. All right, I have a pen here somewhere. Laura, what's your question? What is the word that sums up north? I forget what I said earlier, but I would sum up north as being, it's the spiritual body. It's the place where we go inward and we empty out so that we can come in without all the roles and labels and the boxes that we put ourselves in. We dismantle all of that in the West that doesn't serve us, so that when we go into the North, we go in clean. And from that clean place, we can ask, who am I? Because from that place of having been stripped down, when that new information comes in, it doesn't come in and we're immediately, if we've done the work, we're not immediately judging it, having expectations or analyzing it or feeling fearful of it or trepidatious or anxious or anything like that. That's the importance of going through the west direction to empty out first, so that when we go into the north, we go in as, in my terminology, we would call it the hollow bone. When you go in as the hollow bone, you allow spirit to be channeled through you cleanly without your own agenda kind of attached to that. And Julie, yeah, very much like a cave. So there's, when you go into the north, Some of the practices that take you in there are journeying, shape-shifting, meditation, some meditations, not all, and going in with intention, going into silence. Whenever we go into nature, a lot of times that kind of invokes that north direction because it is the earth element at the same time. And so when you're in nature, you've got the earth element to hold you and to kind of root you down and anchor you. But if you're going in there with intention, and this is what the purpose of my medicine walks are when I do medicine walks, is you're using that to anchor you, and from the north perspective, you're opening up to the conversation that Spirit can have with you in that space. So for me, if I don't do my medicine walks on a daily basis, I feel an immediate disconnect. That's what I do to really recalibrate myself, is to do those medicine walks. Ironically, I don't meditate a lot because my meditations are more walking meditations or sitting in silence or just being in nature, which is a meditation. But by the definition of society's idea of meditation, people would look at my practice and say, well, you're not meditating, because I'm not sitting there with my eyes closed going, and trying to empty my mind. Yeah, I do meditation very, very differently. And I also create meditations that are very different. Okay, I am going to... Let me get... All right, this is... Can you guys hear music? Please say yes. Oh, thank you, Stephanie. Okay. Oh, this is going to be really different. All right, so let yourself land here. Wherever your body is right now, just let it be held. Feel the floor or the chair or the ground taking all of your weight. You don't have to hold yourself up for the next while. Just allow for something else within you to hold you. I'm going to do one thing here before we get started. You guys just keep tapping into your space, your energy. The reason why you're here today, what allowed you to show up, to be present. What are you most curious about? And let the breath come in slow, down past your throat, past the chest, all the way into your belly. And let it fall longer than it came in. And with the next breath out, just let the day go. The list of things still undone. The weight of who needs what from you. Just let all of it slide off your shoulders and pool into the floor beneath you. You can pick it up later if you want, but for right now, just clean yourself off. And feel your face softened. Let the space between your brows go wide. Let your jaw become a little unhinged. Feel your shoulders drop, a finger's width lower, and then lower again. And tonight, you're going to walk the wheel of the Cailleach. You start in the dark, in the deep of it. And you come around to the light by walking the way that the year does. In your mind's eye, the dark, you're standing at the mouth of something. A hillside, an opening, an old round doorway low in the side of the earth with cold air moving out. The smells of cold stone, dampness, and deep time. And you're not afraid of it. You've been coming here your whole life without knowing its name. And step in. A passage leads down, smooth stone underfoot, worn by feet older than memory. And you put your hand to the wall to feel your way, and the wall is cool, a little damp. Down and down. The light from the doorway behind you grows small. And you're going to the bottom of yourself. Past the noise and the plans into the oldest room. And with each step, the world above gets quieter. Until there's only the drum. And the passage opens. You step out into a wide, dark chamber under the hill. And the air here is winter. You can see your breath. Far above, through a gap in the stone, a few cold stars. And there's a fire, low and red, in the middle of the floor, and beside it, on a stone, an old woman sits with her back to you. And she's wrapped in gray, her white hair loose. Her hands are working at something in her lap you can't quite see. And you come closer and stand at the edge of her firelight. And you wait. Because you understand that here, you wait for her. And without turning, she speaks. Her voice is stone and smoke. And she says your waiting is the first thing she's liked about you. This is the Cailleach, the old woman who shaped the mountains, who turns the year toward the dark, the keeper of this wheel. She's met everyone who ever walked it, and she's in no hurry to be impressed. And she tells you to sit, and you lower yourself onto the cold floor by her fire. And now you can see what's in her lap. Bones. Small, clean, pale bones. And she's setting them out on a cloth in a pattern only she understands, the way some people read cards. And she looks at you for the first time. Her eyes are very old and not unkind. And she asks you a question, and it goes straight through all your usual answers. And she asks, "Who are you?" Not the name you go by, not the work you do. Who is left when all of that is set down? Who's underneath? stay here with her a moment, in the cold and in the firelight. Let her question be your question. Who are you underneath all of it? When the roles fall away, when there's no one to be useful to, who's the one sitting by the fire here? And the deeper one, the one she really came here to ask. What is your soul here to do? Not the thing that pays or photographs well, not the thing that gets all the likes on social media. What the oldest part of you came here to do. She gathers her bones back into her hand. Whatever she read, she kept to herself, but she nods once, like something is settled. And she reaches into the gray of her shawl and takes out a small, dark stone, smooth and warm from being against her, and she presses it into your palm. Fold your fingers over it. This is what you carry out of the north. The knowing of who you are when no one is watching. The soul's own weight. Keep it in your closed hand. We carry it around the wheel, and she points with her chin toward the far side of the chamber where the dark thinning goes to gray. Go that way, she says. The bright one is waking. And you rise and leave from her fire, and you walk toward the gray light. The floor begins to climb under you, a slope leading up and out. And the cold loosens its grip. Ahead, the gray turns to a faint pink of sky before sunrise, and you climb toward it. And you come up out of the hill into the open, and it's the hour before dawn. The land is wide and pale and waiting, frost on the grass. But the frost is beginning to let go, beating into water at the tips of the grass. Spring is just 2 breaths away. And there's a light ahead that isn't the sunrise. It's warmer, more orange. And you walk toward it and find a forge in the open air. A fire in a stone hearth. And a woman working an anvil with her sleeves shoved up. Sparks fly off her hammer with every strike, and rise into the dark like a swarm of small, tiny stars. And she looks up and she grins at you, soot on her face, her eyes are bright. This is Brigid, the bright one, who keeps the forge and the healing well, and right now she's a blacksmith, glad of your company. And she asks you what you brought. And you open your hand and you show her the dark stone from the north, and she nods like she already expected it. Everyone comes from the old woman first, she says. And she takes a pair of tongs and lifts something out of the fire, a small piece of iron, glowing white, gold at the heart. She holds it between the two of you. Look into it, she says. And looking into white gold light, something lifts in you. A thought, a picture, a knowing, arriving already whole before you've reasoned your way to it. And the old poets had the name for it, emboss, the fire in the head. The moment a true thing lands, lit from inside. She sets the iron on the anvil, and with a few clean strikes shapes it. And then she hands it to you cool. Small key, or near enough to a key. the shape of a thing you've been trying to say for a long time and never found the words for it. Stand in her firelight and let the fire in the head do its work. What is the thing you've been carrying inside that's never been named? The vision, the want that you keep circling and never quite say out loud. Brigid handed you one clean word for it right now, one true word, what would the word be? Don't reach for it, just let it rise naturally. One word. Whatever rose, hold it close to the stone in your hand. Two things now, the weight of who you are and the bright shape of what you're for. And Brigid points east with her hammer toward the place of the sun, where it's finally cracking the horizon. Gold spilling on the wet land. Go on now, she says. Somebody warm is waiting, and she doesn't like to be kept. And you walk into the rising sun. The sun climbs as you walk, faster than any real sun, and the cold burns off of you completely. And by the time the land opens onto a lake, it's high summer, in the middle of a gold afternoon. The lake is still and bright and reeds at the edge. The air is thick and sweet, warm on your bare arms. And you realize you've been cold for a long time, longer than this walk. And you never knew it until the warmth found you. A woman is swimming out in the lake and she sees you and laughs and wades toward you through the shallows, the water running off of her, the light loving every part of her. And this is Áine, the sun on the water. She belongs to summer and to love And she has never once apologized for either. She comes and stands in front of you, close, not shy about it. And she looks at the stone and the key in your hands and smiles, almost sad. You've gotten very good at knowing things, she says. Let's see if you can still feel. And she lays her warm, wet hand flat on the center of your chest. And under her palm, something that's been clenched a long time begins to loosen. And she asks you a question without any words in it, just her hand on your heart, and the warm afternoon, and the plain weight of the asking. What do you want? The real answer, the one underneath what you're supposed to want. What do you want? Stay under her hand. Let the warmth go all the way through you. What do you want? Let the wanting live in your body, not your head. Let it be the wanting you've talked yourself out of, the one you decided was too late or not for someone like you. And feel this. While her hand is on you, you are worth the wanting, the desire, and the one who carries it. Both worth the sun on the water. Let that be true in your chest for a moment, even while your mind might argue. And when you're ready, she takes her hand back. And where her palm was, there's a warmth left behind, like a coal banked in your chest. That's yours now, too. The feeling, knowing, the yes your body makes when something is true. And then Áine face changes. She looks across the lake to the far shore where the light has gone strange and bruised. A storm stacking up over the water. And her smile goes quiet. The next one isn't gentle, she says. But you need her. Go. And you walk around the lake toward the storm. The day burns down as you go. By the time you reach the far shore, the sun is red under a black cloud. And the wind is hard in your face. The warmth is behind you now. There's a river here, fast and dark, with a shallow place where you could cross. A ford. And standing in the rushing water at the ford, a tall figure, washing something. Her arms red to the elbow. Crows ride the wind above her. And she turns. Her face is beautiful, and it stops your breath because you can see in it that she already knows how everything ends, including you. And it doesn't frighten her at all. This is the Morrígan, the great queen. She looks at what you carry, the stone, the key, the warm coal in your chest. Pretty, she says. Now what are you going to do with it? She wades out of the river and stands too close, the way Áine did. But there's nothing soft in it. She asks the only question she ever asks. What are you finally willing to make real? And before you can find a clever answer, she asks the other half of it, because nothing gets made for free. What are you willing to put down? What dies so the true thing can live? The safe smallness and Any old story about yourself that's kept you back from the fire. What dies so the true thing can live? Stand in the wind with her and don't look away. What is the thing you're finally ready to make real? The bright one named, and the warm one made you want. Say it to yourself, plainly, in the Morrigan's hearing. Say it out loud. And the harder half, what are you willing to lay down in the water to do it? What needs to end? Let yourself know it, even if it cost you something. Whatever you named, the Morrigan takes it as a vow. She dips her hand in the cold river and presses 2 wet fingers to your forehead, hard. A blessing with teeth in it. And something burns through your fear. You can do the thing. You were always able to do the thing. You only needed someone fierce enough to call it out. She steps back into the water and picks up her washing again. The crows lift off the wind. She's done with you in the way that means she's given you all she has. Across the ford, the storm thins. There's stillness on the other side, a place with no weather in it at all. And the Morrigan tilts her head toward it. That's the only place left, she says. The center. Go and meet the one this was all for. across the ford. Cold water pulls at your legs and then lets go, and you step onto the far bank into complete stillness. And the wind stops. The crows are gone. The storm, the lake, the forge, the cold hill, all of it behind you and around you, all at once. As if you've stepped into the still center of a turning wheel. And can feel all four directions wheeling slow around the place where you stand. There's no goddess here. There's a figure waiting in the quiet, and as you come closer, you see that it's you. The whole one. The one who was always underneath, standing in the center the entire time, waiting for you to walk all the way around to them. Your higher self looks at you with an enormous amount of tenderness. And they reach out and they take your hands. And as they do, the things you've been carrying move between you. The dark stone, the bright key, the warm coal, the mark on your forehead, still warm. The dark stone, the bright key, the warm coal, the mark on your forehead. And they take all of it and hold it easily because they've been holding it all along. You walk this whole wheel to reach the one who already had it. Stand face to face with this whole of you in the still center, and let the one thing be answered. Who is all of this for? The thing you're going to make real, who does it serve beyond you? How does it move out into the world, into the people and the land that you belong to? And let your higher self show you one small next step, not the whole road, the next true step. The one you could take this week. Let it come. And when you're ready, your higher self steps closer and closer until you're standing in the same space, until you are them and they are you. And the four gifts settle down into your body as if they were always there, because they were. The stone in your bones, the bright word in your throat, the warm yes in your chest, the fierce nerve in your hands. You're whole. You might have come in pieces, but you leave whole. And the wheel turned you all the way around to do it. And now the center begins gently to let you go. You don't have to walk back the way you came. The wheel folds the long walk into a single breath.
The hill took you in, cold breath, cold stone.
Feel the center hold you one
You laid
moment
your
longer.
name down in the dark, alone.
All four directions turning
Something
slow
old as winter
around
pressed into your hand. The kind of cold that holds you until you understand.
you. All the directions yours now, all of it inside you.
Then the frost let go, a thin gold light, a spark in the dark behind your sight. A word you had buried rose through your chest, broke open your throat, and you spoke it at last. So carry
Feel the
it
floor beneath you.
Carry it home. The turning of the wheel has carved you from bone. You are the fire, you are the stone. The long road through you is calling you home.
Bringing all four gifts
The
with you.
cold and the flame are under your ribs.
You
The
know it.
path knows your name, and you belong to it. Carry it home. Carry it home. Cold water at your knees. Sky gone black. brow and no way back. Fear became fire and ran to your hands. Your 2 feet held you on the shaking sand. Then the turning went still. You stood in the eye. The one who was waiting had your own eyes. Stone in your body, word in your throat, warmth in your chest, fire in your palms. All of it settled deep into bone. The wheel turned within you and called you home. So carry it home, carry it home, carry it home. The turning of the wheel has carved you from bone. You are the fire, you are the fire.
Deep in your breath.
You are the stone, you are the stone. The long road through you is called.
Notice what your hands remember.
The cold and the flame are under your ribs. The path knows your name and you belong to it. Carry it on, carry it home, carry it home. You are home. You are home. You are home. You are the fire. You are the stone.
I'm Dakota Earth Cloud Walker. Thank you for journeying with me today. Aho, Batakwiasan. Aho. There. Thank you, everybody. Well, that was fun. Thank you guys for the donations too. I appreciate that. That last song is my song. It's one of my newest ones. I actually made it for this meditation. That's what I've been doing now, is making my own music for my own journeys. And Bob and Gilly, at some point you will have access to that. I'm putting together an album that, glad I didn't do that when you guys are all under. I'll be releasing the album that will have this on it probably in about 2 months, maybe. I've been making different songs that kind of fit that same genre of the Wheel of the Cailleach. And I have actually I have like 3 or 4 albums out right now. You can find me on any of the music platforms that are out there. Just Google my name or search for my name on those platforms. But I'm on all of them. Apple, Spotify, Tidal, YouTube, Music, you name it. All right, I'm glad that you guys got something from this meditation, I hope. And I hope you got the 4 gifts. What I would suggest you doing is at some point today, take some time to write down what you gathered from these 4 goddesses and begin to see and feel how they relate to you today in your journey and the work that you do, the way that you show up, all of these things that really lend itself to illuminating why you're here, who you are, what you're here to do, and what needs to be done in order for you to step into that role and to be true to that part of you that is so important, so needed in this world right now, is the authentic you of what you came here for. CP, yes, my QR code has Oreos. I need to change that to like a protein drink or something. Lord knows. Nanya, actually, this will be on YouTube. I am on YouTube Live right now, so that will show up there when, possibly when I'm done. I don't know how I have it set up. Sometimes I have it unlist itself before while I go back, that's in case I mess up and I don't want it to be live. But anyway, easy. Yeah, that one was last a couple times ago. The four gifts. The four gifts. So at the north, you received a stone. In the east, you received a clean, clear word that kind of encapsulated what you're here to do. In the south, you received a feeling in your chest. And then in the west, you received the mark on your forehead of, but also in the west, like each direction has very specific, poignant questions. Who are you? What are you here to do? What do you need to lay down to be able to do it? And really being able to see how that kind of comes to fruition in your life. That's kind of a brief recap. And I will probably actually, I don't know that I need to change too much on and there's a couple things I need to change on the script, but I think for the most part, I feel okay with it. So this is probably one of those meditations that I'll be recording in the next, I don't know, next month. And then I will have it for release on my site at that point. Jen, no, it's not me singing. So I use AI to make music, but I want to be very clear about it because it's not just, throwing a prompt and blah, blah, blah. I've written lyrics all of my life. I come from a family of musicians. And when I was younger, my mom was a piano teacher. My grandma was a piano teacher. Everybody in my family played instruments. And I was the kid who always wanted to be in the creeks collecting rocks and building forts and things like that. So I was required to take piano lessons, and I couldn't take them from my mom or my grandma because that was just, I wouldn't listen to them. I was a very obstinate child. So then my mom tried to, Mary Jane was then my piano teacher because she thought, well, taking it outside the family, maybe that'll help. And I play by ear, but I gave up Mary Jane because I would never practice when I was at home because I was always outside playing in the woods. And so I grew up listening to music all the time, playing music by ear. In fact, last night, I don't know what was going on. I could not sleep because I kept hearing music in my head. Like I just wanted to, I wanted that literally take my head and bang it against the wall to get it to stop because I needed to sleep. I was really tired. But I hear music all the time. And I've always written lyrics. So, but I've never had an outlet to be able to share it because I can't write the actual notes, and my singing voice is really out of practice. So then AI came along and you could shape it. And so what I do now is I take my lyrics and I write the song directions, like this is where I want the music to swell, or this is how I want the vocals to be. And I get very, very explicit with it. And it takes me like a good probably 50 to 70 renditions before I find the version that I actually hear in my ears. And then that becomes the one that I publish and produce. And then I'll bring it into, some of them I'll bring into my editing station here, and I'll add different sounds to it or shape it a little bit differently, take the stems and move things around a little bit. So AI has given me the ability to do something that I couldn't have done before, which has really actually helped to quiet it down up here, because I'm telling you, it gets really noisy in my head. There's a plantation that I lived on in South Carolina, and it was like 500 acres of just pure raw nature right on a river. And it had it's one of the only areas in South Carolina that has like all the 7 different terrains that are carried in that whole state. And I would go outside and immediately it would be full on orchestra in my head. And I could not get it to turn off. I didn't really want it to turn off at that point, but it was so beautiful. The music that I was hearing, it was so melodious and perfect. And I never knew where it came from. But that's how I've always been as a kid, growing up with this music in my head and kind of like the fire in your head, with no way to let it escape. So I'm very grateful for the ability to be able to use something to get to create that. AI, for whatever it's worth, love it or hate it, there's some things that, when used properly, can be very beneficial for people, I think. Okay, Bethany, that's good feedback. That was challenging today, actually, if you guys could see they're all little tiny boxes with little levers that I can move the volume up and down. And I have 31 different sounds here that I've been working with this whole time, trying to finesse it. So it's been interesting to do this. That's why there are some longer pauses than normal in the meditation. But anyway, Chris, you're in South Carolina. Yay. Okay, a funny story about South Carolina, and then I'm going to end because I've got a festival to go to. There's a place. Well, there was I forget what retreat it was. It was put on by the Sophia Institute in Charleston. I signed up for this retreat. It was like a 1 or 2 day retreat. Like, you go there during the day and you go home at night. And I registered and didn't think anything about it. And then I go to sign in on the day of the retreat. And there are 3 women sitting at the table, and I go up and I say, I'm Dakota Walker. And they all looked at each other, and they looked really, really surprised. And they're like, "You're Dakota Walker?" And I'm thinking, oh yeah, they know me. I'm like famous and all this shit. No. They all started laughing. And they, for weeks, because I had signed up like 3 weeks prior to this, for 3 weeks, these people thought that Dakota Walker was I don't know what position he played, but he played for one of the big football teams in South Carolina. This big, big, big man of color, and like he was like a linebacker or something, named Dakota Walker. And they were all shocked that he was coming to a spiritual retreat, and they were all excited because he's very well known in South Carolina. And then here I walk up, and it's me. It's like I get that a lot, actually. Everybody always expects a big, burly something, and I am not that, for sure. Okay, I have a day to catch up with. Thank you guys for being here and playing in this field with me, allowing me to infiltrate your Saturday and be a part of it. And thank you for being actually really allowing me to kind of wing it here today with the meditation. Who knows, maybe this will become a once a month thing. I am here twice a month for lives, so if you are new to me, follow me, and then you'll get notified of when I have upcoming lives. I actually do have another upcoming live on June 25th. There it is on your chat in Insight Timer. And I haven't decided what meditation I'm doing that day. Usually I decide that about a few days prior because I sometimes will use either what I've newly released or something in that live. And then I also have, if you guys have been coming to the Roar events, so Violet 108 and myself started Roar, which is real, open-hearted, authentic, radiant conversations with what it was. If you were at the last one, we had Jen Knox with us, and we did some work around storytelling and things like that about ritual writing. And we decided that the three of us really enjoyed our time together. So Roar is now becoming the three of us, Violet, Jen, and myself. And we are going to morph it into, we're all three storytellers and writers. So every episode is going to be centered around writing, ritual writing, storytelling, you name it. And we will be on Insight Timer for the first hour, and we'll do more of a kind of a dialogue. And then we're going to move over into YouTube Live for the second hour. We'll actually be on YouTube for the entire time. But on YouTube, we'll actually do workshopping and prompts, and it'll be an actual type of workshop that will happen on YouTube Live after we finish here on Insight Timer. So you're welcome to join us for the first hour on Insight Timer, or for both hours on YouTube, or a combination of both, either one. Anyway, so that's on the 26th of June. And if you find what I do interesting, look at my profile here, find my website. And I have a plethora of things that are happening. This actual week is really, really, really jammed. I've got a lot of events coming up and programs and things like that that are happening. I'll be doing a live ritual ceremony for the solstice as well. You'll find out more information about that on my website if you do find me through here. And yeah, lots of stuff going on. Would love to hear from you. So anyway, thank you again, and I will see you guys hopefully in the next live. And also, if you did enjoy today, I would suggest maybe going to my profile here on Insight Timer and take a look at Buried Light. It's not working with the goddesses, but it's part of my Soul Quest series, and it's visiting past life versions of yourself and retrieving a gift from that part of you and bringing it into this lifetime, and then you actually leave it for another version of you that will be in the future. So lots of fun stuff. All right, you guys, thank you again, and have a beautiful, beautiful Saturday, and thank you for the donations and for your presence here today. 328 people. That's wonderful. And quite a few on in YouTube as well. All right. Thank you both. Yes, Buried Light. If I missed any questions, I do apologize. I feel a little overwhelmed with all these windows open here today. So usually I can just kind of kick back, but I actually had to work today. Thanks, everybody. Love to you guys. All right, you guys in YouTube land, I'm going to end you guys also. And thank you for being here. And please leave me comments if you have any, if you've watched the replay, and anything that you want to see in the future. I'm happy to be a part of that, and to take all comments and suggestions. I take all of those to heart. So thank you. Thanks for being here. Bye, everybody.